Hey everyone, it is Dr. Mac here with your daily update. I think it's daily update number 4 or 5. Either way, we are deep into Module 2 where we're discussing the specific elements of literature, really the skills and knowledge that we try to teach in children's literature. So as we're doing this, I want us to annotate the Common Core State Standards. That is actual, after all, what you will be required for your students to know at the end of each year. And I wanted to just, in this tutorial, quickly go over how you will annotate the Common Core State Standards. So when you click on the standards, you just click here, and that will open up Hypothesis. I'm going to make sure that I'm in our group. I click up on Public, and I will just scroll down until I find our group, Edu307Fall18. I can then click there, switch to that group, and there are no annotations yet. That makes sense. So what you're looking for is the knowledge and skills across different grade levels. And what I mean, an easy way to think about that, even though I talked about the difference of knowledge being a verb versus knowledge being a noun, is in the Common Core State Standards, think of skills as the verbs and knowledge as the nouns. What do students need to be able to know, and what do they need to be able to do? And so that's really what I want you to look at in terms of as you annotate the standards. But more specifically, I really want you looking across grade bands. Like, what changes if we were to take, we're only doing, say, the literature standards. So I can scroll down to those. Here's the reading standards for literature in grades K to 5. In key ideas and details, number one, what switches between grades? Like, what are those subtle differences? How much more do they need to be able to know? How much more do they need to be able to do? That's really what I want you to try to discover. And on the class website, I talk about tagging them as either knowledge, skills, or exemplars. With the exemplars, if you know of a children's book that you think would be great to teach that skill, to focus in on, yeah, link to that. That becomes the thing that students say they refer back to most in this classroom, is how they annotate the Common Core State Standards, and all the different book ideas that we collect throughout the whole semester. Because you'll just come to you, be like, oh, you know what? That would be a great book to teach this. And we go back and we annotate the standards. So I'm going to go back to what is children's literature, and going back to, elements of literature, wrong module, and clicking on the standards. I will do one super fast example. Ask and answer questions to demonstrate understanding the text, referring explicitly to the text as the basis for the answer. So students need to, I can highlight right here, annotate. They have to have knowledge of text, right? They have the understanding of a text. And I can frame that a little bit differently, and then I can tag that as knowledge. And then it's posted right to that group. Just hit post, and that's what we do. With the ask and answer questions, well, that's a skill. All right? They have to be able to do that. And the thing with the standards is there can be multiple lessons in each one of those. These are end of the year grade level expectations. So you might do one. Well, all of your lessons are focused on asking and answering questions, but to teach kids how to explicitly, if you're going to model and do mini lessons around asking and answering questions, you could do one on asking, you do multiple mini lessons on getting students to ask questions. In fact, I'm just going to talk about asking questions as a skill. And I might go back and I could add in more information, if you have different ideas to teach these things, you find things on the web to teach these things. But this becomes an amazing document that students come back to all the time if we work on it as a community throughout the entire class. So I'll tag this as skill and post to the group, and we are done. So that's it. That is your under 5-minute update for today. And we discussed how we are going to annotate the Common Core State Standards in this class.